Welcome to the finale of What If Beta Lumity was in Doki Doki Takeover. Now, the reason why I'm going back to my original format, because obviously the last part was going to be a new format I was going to try out, is because this story actually has two separate endings. And just so you have an incentive to listen to the other one, I'm not going to include all the details of the story in this part. So there'll be some things missing, which you would need to go to the other part to get the other details from. But however, there should be enough details where you really shouldn't need to, but yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to go for. No, yeah, if things goes right, they should be uploaded at the exact same time. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So let's continue on with the story. The girls are in the literature club. They're waiting, expecting for Lucia to come in. They wait a little bit, but when Lucia doesn't show up, they try to contact her by calling her phone, but their phone was unable to connect. They know the reason why, because this has happened before. Their phone can't connect to Lucia's phone whenever she's in the bowling aisles. Knowing this, it raises some question within the girls. Why did Lucia go back to the bowling aisles if she said she was going to be at the club meeting today? Not really wanting to wait around, they decide to go to the bowling aisles. Natsuki volunteers to use her pendant to open a portal. However, when she goes to look for it, she sees that she cannot find it. She looks around her person again, including her bag, but it is not in there. Sayori suggests that maybe Natsuki had lost it or left it at the house, but Natsuki says that she always has that on her. It is literally one of the very few items that she keeps on her with an iron grip. Yuri says that they'll go look for it later once they get Lucia, to which they all agree. But however, when Yuri goes to get her pendant, she finds that she too is missing it. Confused by this, Sayori looks for her pendant only to find the same result, and Monika having the same result as well. They all discuss on what happened to their pendant. They all had it, but now it's mysteriously gone. Sayori suggests that maybe they lost their pendants, but the fact that they all lost their pendant on the same day is just too much of a coincidence. In fact, the last time they remember having their pendant was before they ran into Lucia. Monika is able to connect the dots that Lucia had came to their world to steal their pendant. Wanting answers, Monika decides to use her power to open a portal to the bowling aisles. Once they step through the portal, they find themselves on the edge of Bonesboro. They try calling Lucia again, and this time she actually picks up. However, instead of answering them, all they can hear on the other side is fighting. Hearing that, it was obviously she didn't mean to answer it. And so, once again, Monika will use her power to locate Lucia and teleport all of them to her location. When they teleport there, Kikimora had just left to take hunters to Belos. Everyone there is surprised by the group's sudden appearance. The girls don't waste any time and immediately start questioning Lucia about why she stole their pendant. As they continue to press for an answer, Lucia's figure suddenly disappears in a puff of smoke to reveal Hunter. This confuses not only the girls but the group there as well, which causes a bunch more questions for the girls. Meanwhile, the group that was in the fight was putting everything together, and when they see that Lucia had turned into Hunter, it immediately worries them because that means that Lucia was taken by Kikimora to be taken to Belos. Once the Doki girls starts questioning the group tells them everything that is happening, while Alador takes them to the head of the Titan where the draining spell is occurring. After that, Ida's side of the story would stay basically exactly the same, where she would get a Coven seal to take Rain's place to infect the draining spell. But however, just like in the original show, it does not work. The draining spell activates and Rain saves Ida by removing her arm that bears the Coven seal. Just like in the show, the group arrives to assist anyone and search for Lucia. Ida, not being affected by the draining spell, is able to notice the group had arrived. When Ida sees the Doki girls, it surprised her. Lucia's plan was designed to keep them from arriving during the Day of Unity, but yet it seems to have failed because they're here. Ida asks what's going on, why are they here? But the Doki girls just tells her that they don't really know either. They just found out what is happening themselves and they're still processing it. So the Hex Squad tells Ida what is happening. When Ida learns that Lucia might be with Belos, Ida grows really worried for her, and she is torn between going to help Lucia or staying with Rain, who is being affected by the draining spell. Rain has to push Ida to go help out Lucia. Basically, it's supposed to be a similar scene with Ida's Requiem, where Rain basically tells Ida to stay with her kid. Hesitantly, Ida agrees to go with the group to help Lucia. Ida uses Albert, who was in her hair by the way, to fly with the group to enter the Titan's head. Once they do, they find Lucia engaged in a battle with Bellows. However, she is at a disadvantage. The Hex Squad plus Ida and King immediately goes to help out Lucia against Bellows, while the Doki girls remain on the sidelines because they can't really do anything. Growing deeply concerned, the Doki girls tried to come up with a way to do something. That isn't until one of them thought about Monika's power. They tell her to use her powers to intervene. However, Monika doesn't really know the magic system of the world. Yuri makes an educated guess that everything started happening when the eclipse started. So maybe if Monika is able to move the moon or something, maybe that'll stop the spell. With no other option, Monika tries to do so. It takes a while for her to do so because she still isn't 100% used to this power. But once she does, she stops the draining spell just like the Collector did in the original show. As Monika stops the draining spell, Bellows notices that she is doing so. He recalls the Collector saying that he sensed a power that was really great and it terrified him. Seeing this, he puts two to two together. Monika is what the Collector was afraid of. At a disadvantage and being gained up on, Bellows charges towards Monika. He was able to slip past everyone and possess Monika, just like he did with Hunter in the original show. Skipping ahead as the following events played in Ending 1. After Lucia dissolved into starlights, the remaining Doki girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and Sayori, really want to do something. They're about to charge in to try to do something, but Ida stops them, just as the Hex Squad, minus Bosha and Hunter, starts to lose himself in their anger. Wanona's magic causes plants to uncontrollably sprout all over the place, being these huge gigantic plants. Meanwhile, Amelia, her body actually starts to deform and become an abomination, similar to Darius, while Ida and King, their transformation is the same as it is in the original show. Driven by their rage, everyone besides the Doki girls charges after Bellows. This includes Bosha and Hunter. Even though they're not as enraged, they're still pretty pissed. Bellows will be using his sludge manipulation ability to fight the group while he is trying to understand Monika's power. Basically, the fight will still play out similarly, but obviously not exactly because, of the situation, to Ida and King's fight against Bellows when he was controlling the Titan. It's something similar to that, but however, instead of it being more like they're fighting an uphill battle, it's more like they're trying to keep up with Bellows as he is getting more used to Monika's power. This eventually culminates to when Bellows discovers Monika's deletions ability. He accidentally does this with Hunter first, which basically gets his attention. Once he realizes that he can do this, he tries to do this more and more until he eventually figures it out, and he starts deleting each of the group one by one, continuing with Bosha, then Willow, Amelia, King, and then Ida. Throughout the battle, however, Sayori's power has been slowly coming back due to the overwhelming chaos that is happening and of everything that is happening, of not being able to help Monika, not being able to reconcile with her despite how much Monika is trying to make amends. Once Ida gets deleted, Sayori lets out this painful roar as everything starts coming back to her. Memory starts flooding back into her. Her powers burst out from her, which catches everyone's attention as there, Yuri, Natsuki, and Bellows. Sayori gives Bellows one more chance to stop this, but Bellows refuses. Saddened by this, Sayori attacks Bellows, with her first attack being a quick teleportation to Bellows, and with an attack that almost sets Monika free, but Bellows was able to stay in. Bellows counters by attacking Sayori, which sends her flying, and with that, the battle between Sayori and Bellows starts. And the fight is a mirroring of each other, with some differences, like obviously where Bellows will be using his sludge manipulation, Sayori would actually be using abomination magic, similar to what we just saw Amelia do. It doesn't just stop from there. Whenever Bellows would try to spawn things like buildings or cards or whatnot, anything that's just from the Boiling Isles, Sayori will respond doing exactly the same, or in Sayori's case, probably just ends up deleting them. They're starting to get in a stalemate especially since whenever Bellows tries to use Monika's deletion ability, Sayori is able to cancel it out. Throughout the fight, Natsuki had String Bean in her hand, just pleased with it, asking for his help to stop Bellows and to free Monika. If they're able to free Monika, then they can bring Lucia back. Saying this actually causes String Bean to link with Natsuki. Glad that String Bean is actually going to help her now, Natsuki pulls out one of her glyph cards that she made for herself and flies on a String Bean to go into battle with Sayori. When Natsuki sends a fire spell at Bellows to knock him off course, Sayori makes Natsuki's spell card an infinite use. They're able to push Bellows back a bit, but Bellows is getting more stronger the more he's getting used to this ability. They can only do so much. But however, they gain another upper hand when Yuri comes flying in on Ghost as she sends icicles at Bellows. They are able to pierce him, but however, it does pierce Monika's body. Thanks to Bellows' sludge manipulation, any permanent damage like that doesn't really affect Monika. As Bellows is taking these icicles out of him, Sayori goes to Yuri and makes her ice glyph an infinite use, just like how she did with Natsuki. And so with all three now working together, they all team up to try to stop Bellows, but again, he is still just too strong. With nothing else seeming to work and Bellows just getting more and more stronger, they use a desperate play, which involves Sayori just rushing into Bellows' personal space, digging her hands into Monika's chest just to drag Bellows out of Monika. As she does so, she deletes him before he can do anything else. And with that, Bellows is no more and Monika is free. They rest on one of the giant plants that Winona spawned in, and as Monika slowly comes to, the other gives her a big hug, with Sayori frantically apologizing to Monika about giving her the cold shoulder and everything. Monika tells her that it's fine, but Sayori doesn't want to hear it. She knows that Monika didn't tell them everything. As they're reconciling, they hear a voice behind them. When they turn, they see that it is Lucia in a different form. She congratulates them on stopping Bellows. After getting over their shock, they ask how she's alive and how she's here. To which she tells them that the Titan actually saved her and was actually going to send her back with his power. But before he actually sent her back, he felt a strange power awakening. And so they were basically watching the fight. She was actually on her way back to come and help, but they already finished it. After a bit more talking and resting with the group, with Lucia eventually transforming back, as this ability is permanent for her, Monika was able to regain her strength and use her ability to bring everyone back that Bellows had deleted. When the Hex Squad comes back, they see Lucia and rushes to her. And with that, we would skip 4 years into the future. We see Lucia and Emilia are married for about a year. Natsuki and Yuri are actually engaged and is set to be wedded soon. Natsuki is actually working at a bakery while Yuri works as a librarian who also happens to rent books out to the Boiling Isles. Sayori and Monika would be dating actually, and they would be living together. Sayori is actually getting her bachelor's degree to become an elementary school teacher, while Monika would actually be working 2 jobs. She would actually be working with Emilia in the Boiling Isles, as well as being an entrepreneur in her world. Emilia would be working as an abomination engineer, while Lucia, she would work many jobs in the Boiling Isles. Her main job would be the Exploration Guild. We will end the story with the group hanging out in Monika's world. They're having a get together with not only just the 6 girls, but basically their parents and stuff like that as well. It's basically like a party of friends and family. It will end with Sayori asking Monika something, which causes Monika to gasp in surprise,